Okay, my friends, pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you who are locked on. We do apologize for our late start this afternoon on our program, Hard Facts. As I said before, my friends, we are here live on many occasions. We are here live trying as much as possible, really and truly, to identify, the challenges and the anomalies that we are plagued with on a daily basis. Again, my friends, it is really and truly important to know that in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, during this period, this time here, as you would have really and truly understood, we are on a really and truly hectic election mode. Trinidad and Tobago, citizens of this country, I know for a fact that many of you, and I tell you something, I have been reeling, I have been feeling, and I've been seeing, and I've been watching, my friends, the movements of certain individuals in our society when it comes to politicking. Right? Again, this program, Hard Facts, is your program where you can call us at 372-2129. Again, my friends, this is your program where you and I, we have a voice. This program is a voice for the voiceless. You are here, you can be able to call us, you can be able to tell us what is taking place. Maybe you are seeing anomalies on both sides of the fence. Maybe somebody is doing things that is interrupting, the smooth flow, maybe on your daily routine or run. Call us and let us know what is taking place. What is happening with your infrastructure in your country. Drainage. I know all those things have been really and truly put aside simply because everybody and anybody wants to be in the political foray in the front line. And we are seeing the different the political parties. We are seeing approximately 161 candidates vying for power in our country. We are seeing approximately 17 different parties. But basically, when we understand clearly what has happened in the past, it boils down to two. It boils down to the United National Congress and the People's National Movement, the PNM. So again, my friends, those of you who are maybe faced with any challenges, maybe you have seen something and you would like to highlight it. I have seen a lot of things happening. We have seen the crime rate, and one person was telling me up to yesterday that compared to last year and compared to the year before, we are going par and par with the murder rate in our country. Last year it would have been 2 per day, and this year we are seeing 1 per day. But again, my friends, one single murder in a country is too much, just to let you all know. Right? So we can't really and truly say, well, here what? We have accepted, we have surrendered, and we know for a fact that murder is taking place. But in comparison to last year, we are seeing, my friends, a drastic drop when it comes to the murder rate. But what we are seeing is a lot of increase when it comes to young girls moving away from their homes for reasons, my friends, are unknown at this point in time. And I would like to call on people who are counselors and community workers to really and truly, step up their programs when it comes to directing our young girls, especially our young teenagers, that, you have to understand that not everything that glitter is gold outside there. A lot of things is happening in our society, and because of Facebook, social media, people, your parents are at work, your parents are maybe doing something important for you, and you are at home alone, and you are in possession of this device. You are in possession of this device, and my friends, any and anybody are they are coming into your homes, and they are having conversation with your little kids and so forth. So again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, and this is happening around the world. It is not an isolated case in Trinidad and Tobago alone. It is happening around the world, in the Caribbean, internationally, regionally. Those things are happening. But again, as parents, we have to monitor our kids and know for a fact that what they are doing and every movement that they are making, we have to understand these things. We have to be able to control our kids. We can't allow them to become, hardcore criminals. And then, when something bad happened to them or something, like what we are seeing in our country, when somebody is murdered or somebody is killed, my friends, sometimes the parents will say that he's a good boy, he was a good girl, and so she was a good girl, and so forth. So again, my friends, this is your program, Hard Facts. My co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, he's not in studio today. And, I was telling a guy, a person was asking me, Imam, how come you started the program? I said, I'm waiting on my co-host, man. My co-host, maybe he got stuck in traffic or something like that. But I tell you something, only two things can distract Premchand Baldev from coming to studio. Number one is that if he won the lotto, and maybe he has to go and collect that money, that's number one. And number two, his mom. If there's any problem with his mother, my friends, I know for a fact that will deter him or his family members. Those are the only two legitimate reasons that my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, is not here. And I do hope and pray that, if he won that lottery, maybe he could have put things in motion that some of the poor people in our country could benefit from that. Not me, but some of the poor people in our country. So again, as we continue our program on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, my friends, I want to welcome all those persons who are watching our live. Again, you can comment on my live and tell us what is going on, because I tell you something, politics. That is going to be on the front burner from now until. I just let you all know again, my friends, this is how perception is. Perception is, sometimes you look at something and you feel here what, hey, that is something that, is not realistic. But again, sometimes you jump into conclusion and you say, okay, Imam Rashid Karim, was invited by the Prime Minister of this country, Trinidad and Tobago. And again, the Islamic community in the whole, there were approximately 25 or 30 Islamic organizations at the Diplomatic Center on Saturday. And that is where the Eid function was held. And again, all in all, it was a beautiful function. It was well attended. The meals were good. And again, the itinerary of program was really and truly fantastic. So much so that the Prime Minister of the country, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC, all he spoke was maybe about 5 minutes or even less. Because when he really and truly take in, and that would have been between me and you, if other persons were the Prime Minister of the country, they may have taken maybe 15, 20, or maybe so much so a half an hour trying to persuade and do some politicking in that session, that so many Islamic personalities and organizations were present. But I tell you something, he didn't do that. And hats off to the Prime Minister of the country. And again, I just want to take this opportunity to thank all those persons who convened and who were present there, all the different Islamic organizations, and everybody give their two bits or their tidbits or whatever you want to call it, and they give their analysis of the holy month of Ramadan, and they talk about things that would have affected during Ramadan month and so forth. And again, all in all, it was a well-planned Eid dinner at the Diplomatic Center in Port of Spain. So those persons who presented themselves and who presented their greetings and so forth, you all did fantastically great. And on behalf of Sentinel Media Broadcasting, myself, Imam Rashid Karim, who were present, I want to thank you all very, very much for the stand that you all took. And again, what really and truly impressed me is that when we reached there, we arrived at the Diplomatic Center at around 4:15. And by 4:20, 4:25, people were being shuttled to the Diplomatic Center, and full protocol, security protocol was observed. And when we reached there, it would have been about 4:40, 4:45, and we would have approximately at that venue would have been about 400 to 500 people. And we made the Asr prayer, and the preparation was made. So we saw changes there. The preparation was made for the Asr prayer, and again, preparation were made for the Maghrib Salah. So again, hats off to those persons who coordinated that program yesterday. And again, being the person I am, I just want to let you all know, a lot of people outside there have been talking. And in my program in the past, I have told you this, right? The people who migrated from the United National Congress, for reason that maybe was because of different, I want to say, legitimacy when it comes to representations, and when it comes to maybe their part in the political foray, and because of standing up for what they believe in and so forth, many of those persons were purged. As the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa mentioned, she have purged the United National Congress of religious, hindrance and certain elements when it comes to race and tribalistic, so and so. All those things were done, Right? So again, my friends, I wish her well and hope that, you know, whatever she have done would have made some changes when it comes to the results. When it comes to the results on the 29th. Right? So my friends, those of you who are locked on, Director, you could put the number on the screen, please. Right, so those of you who are locked on, we are live. This is our program, Hard Facts. And you know, while I was making my contribution at the Diplomatic Center on Saturday, I mentioned to people, those of you who don't know me, Imam Rashid Karim, I am live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, identifying the challenges, the anomalies, and some of the impediments that we are faced with on a daily basis, right? And at this point in time, I'll tell you something, politicking is really and truly important, right? It is something that is a necessity, because you can't allow one political party or another political party to remain in a position whereby they would remain there permanent. And that would not have been democracy. Democracy is challenging issues and things that would cause maybe stalemate or stagnation when it comes to country building. And again, on that night, my friends, and I just want to let you all know, some of you might say that Imam Rashid Karim here, I am blowing the PNM horn. But again, you could say whatever you want. You are free to say whatever you want. And again, you are not free to do whatever you want. You are free to say whatever you want. Because I tell you something about maybe 2 weeks ago on my program, Hard Facts, I mentioned to you a group of members of my mosque. They went to a United National Congress meeting. And when they went there, they were in one specific bus. And when the bus landed at that meeting, you know what happened? They were branded the PNM bus. So, you know, when people start doing those things, you know, you accuse your wife of being maybe not chaste or something like that, basically, and you continue doing that, what you are really and truly doing is driving individuals to maybe do that very said thing that you are claiming they are doing and they are not doing. So you have to be careful. Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be very, very mindful. Yes, we are politicking. Yes, we want our party to win. But I tell you something, I saw, and I don't know if the director could pull it up. I tell you something, this is how the tribalistic policies and politicking takes place in our country. I saw there's the Patriotic Front, that is the party that is led by Makila Pandey, that would have been in Couva North, where the sun was blazing hot. Listen carefully, Trinidad and Tobago. And if we continue like that, you know what happened after election? This division will widen. It will widen, because I tell you something, from my experience, Imam Rashid Karim experience, when we contested the internal election, that is the United National Congress internal election, right? And there was anomalies there, and we raised the issues. Up to this day, people are not speaking to me. People are not talking to me because, you know, I were in the other tent, so to speak. I were with the other people or the other group of contestants or participants or whatever you want to call it. And up to this day, they are not speaking. So let's imagine that would have been for the internal election. And this is a general election, right? Many things are going to happen. And what was really and truly displeasing to me is that there were young ladies who went to a pavilion. Director, you pull up the video, you get it? If you didn't get it, no problem, right? After the break, maybe you could pull it up. And they went to a pavilion that is in Couva North. And when they went there, the normal miscreants in a community, the ones who really and truly, they think with their toenails and not their brains, you know, they were telling the people that you all are not wanted here. You all are not wanted here. This is UNC territory, or this is UNC, whatever they were saying. But bottom line is that, you know, they were depriving those young ladies, because you're going to realize that on the Makela slate, there's a lot of young, intelligent young ladies participating, moving around, and trying to, you know, uplift and elevate and pass around and try to not solicit alone, but really and truly to campaign, putting into what their party wants to do for the country. And that was so distasteful when the individual on the pavilion tell them, it's better you move from here, just maybe take 5 minutes or something, and then get away from here because we don't want you all here. Now, who give those individuals the rights to own the pavilion? That's number one. And my friends, again, that is happening all over the country. That maybe have happened in the PNM areas, right? That may have happened in the PNM areas. You can't blame, as I said before, you can't blame political leaders for what their membership have done. But you could really and truly reprimand. There's something called reprimand. That's the reason why this morning I was talking to somebody and I was giving them some counseling. And I told them that, if you have kids, and you have a good son and a bad son, or you have a son who is misbehaving, right? You can't treat the both of them the same way because you have to be rough and rugged and hard on one. You can't be the very sad way with the other one. And that is what we are seeing. They are painting everybody. All United National Congress people are painting everybody in the PNM, or both sides. The PNM is doing the very same thing when it comes to the United National Congress. And they are creating this kind of division, like, it's a war. And basically it would have been an African-Indian thing. And it's a divisor of, causing people to think that this country is divided by race. And that is not done by the normal citizens of this country. I want to tell you all something today, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are viewing, and those of you who have joined our program, I just want to let you all know, this division, this tribalistic thing that is happening in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, really and truly, my friends, this is something that has been created by the politicians, and we have to be very, very mindful of it. And that's the reason why, I said to the Prime Minister at that function, and I'm going to reiterate, he used that term equity. He used that term equity where every creed and every race and every religion is going to be given their fair dissemination of provisions when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago. And you know something? These are the things that we really and truly, leaders have to develop this type of charisma and this type of character whereby, they would be able to join the population and not divide the population. Because when you look at it, that is what has been happening. That is what has been happening in the political scenarios. You understand? And this has to change if we want. We are talking about crime rate. And we are blaming, it on crime. But, we're not taking a deeper look at our own selves. And look at what we are doing. What we are doing to really and truly prevent crime from happening. And we have to take the politician to task. And this is the opportunity that you and I have today in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, to make the right choice for the right person to represent you and your community. So my friends, stay tuned as we take a short break, and when we come back, maybe you can call us at 372-2129, where we can identify maybe some of the hiccups, some of the challenges. And I want to tell you all something before I close, right? Something, if somebody would change their political beliefs, maybe that person was a United National Congress, a UNC, or that person was a PNM. And maybe, my friends, that they have seen the light and they say, oh, here what? I am going across to the PNM, or I am going across to the United National Congress. You can't blame them. You can't get vexed and angry with them. Only small-minded people does that. And anytime you start doing that, you have to look at yourself and realize the problem is not the one who go PNM or the one who goes UNC, but the problem is yourself, because you cannot understand the truth. And that is why we are here on this program, to dissect and let you all know the hard facts and the reality of what is taking place in our country. I'm going to bring up something here today, and I want you all to understand clearly. And that's tickling your feathers or ruffling your feathers a little bit. You know something? We have been saying that so many things have been done. So many things have been done to build the country by a certain political party, and then we're not seeing anything happening. So that is something that we're going to talk about, my friends, in this program, Hard Facts. The number is 372-2129. You can call me and we can have some small discussion. My friends, I am multitasking right now. Welcome back to our program, Hard Facts. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. My co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldeo. He is not in studio today. I do hope and pray that everything is okay with him. I saw some dollar sign when he said, Imam, I'm not going to make it today. I saw some dollar sign dash. I don't know if you have to pay a bill. I don't know if you have to receive monies or whatever. But again, I hope and pray that he is okay at this point in time. As we continue our broadcast here on Sentinel Media, I would like to extend, a special belated birthday to my nephew, Akash Maraj from Aruka. He's a great guy, and last week it really and truly, it slipped me because last week, I think Saturday was his birthday. And, when the program finished, I saw the text. I wasn't really reading the text, and I saw it, and I said, oh my Lord, I forgot my nephew, Akash. So Akash, I just want to say a big up to you, a big up to the family, and all those persons who are celebrating their birthday today. I want to say a special birthday greetings coming from Sentinel Media Broadcasting and this program, Hard Facts, to each and every one. I want to say a special hello to Betty Baldeo. I want to say a special hello to Damian Lopez. As I said before, hello to Akash. And there's a lot of people, lots and lots of people who are sending messages. Savi Sonawa, and so many people are sending messages to us. My friends, you can also, those of you who are locked on again, you can call the number 372-2129 and let us know what is taking place in your communities at this point in time. But again, politics, that is in the front burner. Some of you have been entrusted with candidates. Like, for example, last week we announced it on our program, the Patriotic Front. The Patriotic Front, 2 candidates, Shogunas West, Shogunas East, were supposed to be on the program. Again, if that is the way that they want to start off their program, then really and truly it left much to be desired. Because we also had a person from the United National Congress was supposed to be on the program. Again, I don't know if they were bad or they were pronounced some sort of heavy pronouncement that you're not supposed to be in this program. Maybe the imam is following someone else or something like that. But again, anybody wants to follow anybody, that is their rights. You can't tell me don't follow PNM. You can't tell me don't follow United National Congress. You can't tell me don't follow Patriotic Front. You can't tell me that. Because I tell you something, if there's one thing, one real right that you have in this country, my friends, I tell you something, if you, right, have one real right in this country, that is to vote. One guy, Gerald Fletcher, is saying the United National Congress is displaying desperation to win this election. That their supporters are indulging in insults and spurring obscenities and hate at their opponents, which is only causing citizens to see the character of the party. Now that is something, thank you Gerald. And those of you who are locked on again, maybe you can text it. We're going to read it to you all. It's negative, positive again. I have nothing to gain, I have nothing to lose. All I want for my country, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, is good governance. And I have seen the light, and I saw and I've listened. You know something, let me tell you all something, Trinidad and Tobago, and a lot of people is just like me. When we hear men like Victor Roberts, who was a great advocate, when we hear men like Larry Lala, who was a great advocate, when we hear Dinesh Rambali, Anita Haynes, Rushton Pare, Rodney Charles, and Rai Ragbir, when we hear those people, right, and you know something, a man who is a budding candidate, who has been given a so-called safe seat, that's the Tabakit seat, some guy named Sobas, I don't know who the guy is, right, and you know what he's saying? He's saying that Rai Ragbir, you know, he's a passing vagrant kind of thing, you know, that position that he had there was, this is the kind of attitude, if you as an individual, you can use people, benefit from it. I know Rai Ragbir and myself, my friends, normally when you all would have gone to the meeting, maybe 7 o'clock in the night, I want to let you all know this, for those people, you know, who are UNC sycophants, those of you who are UNC sycophants, I was in charge, I was doing security for the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa, and I would leave home at 1:30, 2 o'clock when it's long distance like Labrie. And I would take my officers and I would carry them there and comb the area and make sure that it doesn't have any hindrance or any risk and so forth for that meeting to be held at 7 o'clock. Dr. Rai Ragbir would go and set up his tent with maybe 2 nurses. His lovely wife would be with him. Sometime, he would carry some other person with him, maybe 5, 6 persons with him. And they would go there to ensure that if anyone maybe falls sick while that function or that meeting is going on, he would adhere and he would take care of those people. And you, as a man who is in politics and who know Dr. Rai Ragbir, you go across there and call that man a vagrant, you should resign forthwith, because people like you all have our country like this. Imagine this, imagine this. You talking about, you talking about what Kamala Regis and Camille Regis say, right? You talking about that. That is the only thing, really and truly narrow down in your mind. But you are not looking at your own party and what your party members are saying. This is why today, the division. We are a loving country. We are a loving country. Trinidad and Tobago is a loving country, but it is divided by the politician of this country. They divide the people, they divide and they try to ruffle the feathers of the hard-working citizens, number one. And they try to divide, the right-thinking citizen mind, and they cause people's minds to be polluted because of the political sway that they need. People have to think, my friends, they have to think. Hear what? You look at the reality of what has happened. Let me just dissect something for you all. Let me just dissect something for you all. Right? And let's be real. Let's be real. In 2010, 2015, you would have said, here what? A lot of things happened, right? Hospitals were built, police stations were built, bridges were built, schools were built. I said that in my program. These are known factors. But I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question to you all, those of you who are locked on. Have those buildings, those schools, and those buildings and those hospitals and all those things that were built during the tenure of 2010, 2015, were that building paid for? Have those buildings been paid off for? That's the question I want to ask. So I tell you something, when the United National Congress lost the 2015 election, right? 2010, 2015 election, what would have happened? And I tell you something, those of you who feel that I'm wrong, try to correct me. Call the station. Call 372-2129. That debt was left when all those schools and hospitals were built. So the thing here is that the PNM now would have to carry that burden of paying those debts. People have to understand that. So when you are faced with crunch and hardship, I see this and I tell you something. Politics is a funny thing, huh? Nobody give you nothing in politics except Imam Rashid Karim, who is one of the biggest, the biggest bureau. Serving, and not receiving anything. I had a contract. I got a contract. I tell you something, I got a contract. And that contract was to get rid of certain elements and take that contract. I did it. And when I was supposed to get rid of the same workers, I never got rid of those workers. I inculcated those workers in the very said program, and they came across to the banner of the United National Congress. I've been real here. And something, lo and behold, when the government change took place, people like us who had monies inside, we never collected our monies. And up to this day, we never collected our monies. And I wouldn't go and hassle nobody. I wasn't doing it for money. But I want Trinidad and Tobago to understand these things, that when all those schools were built, and all those hospitals were built, and all those roads were built, and all those things were built, I want to ask you all, have those money been paid off by the United National Congress? Or did the PNM take that burden to pay those loans? My friends, those of you who are locked on, you are watching us on Sentinel Media Broadcasting, where we are talking hard facts. We are identifying, because too much of time I've been hearing this. And when I started opening my eyes, because I myself was blinded. Men like Larry Lala and Rushton Parry and Anita Haynes and Rai Ragbir, right? And the big bunch, Victor Roberts. I have a partner, right? I tell you something. I have a partner named Archie, William Archie, Atlantic Computers and Trading, Atlantic Computers, right? And he would have been there just like me, just like Rai. And maybe we are the very said ones who have been booted out by what? By the party hierarchy. You don't have to call somebody and say, well, here what, you are fired. You could fire somebody by staying away from them, by keeping away from their company. And that is the strategy that was used, my friends, if you all don't know. So I am not a sour grapes here trying to, woo anybody anywhere. All I'm saying is that do not jump to any conclusion. When you see a person, there would be people who are skipping the kangaroo. Right? They jump from here, jump from there. You would know those people. You would know those people because they have nothing to offer the country. All they want is for themselves. Monday they will wear green, and Friday they yellow, and Sunday they red. We are not like that. I am not like that. But I am here identifying the facts, my friends, for people who, who feel they know everything. They are Noah of the ark. They know everything. They know how much rain will fall, and they know how many animals will go in the ark. I want to ask you one simple question. If you all know everything and anything, which was the first animal? Which was the first animal that entered the ark, Noah's ark? You all are religious people. You answer that question. What was the first animal that entered Noah's ark? And it's easy to find out, real easy. So those of you who are contemplating, I tell you something, if you want to jump from here to there and jump from there to the other place, don't call people hypocrites. Try to identify and understand why they're doing it. Why they're doing it. Why they did it. And why they continue to do it. Because we have seen a lot of migration taking place when it comes to people from the United National Congress to the PNM. And we have seen little or no substantial migration when it comes to the PNM to the United National Congress. Nothing substantial. And that tells a lot. That tells a lot. So those of you who are here, those of you who are watching me, maybe you can message, you can text, you can tell us, what is your take when it comes to the United National Congress, the PNM, the Patriotic Front, the NTA. Like for example, let me just give you an example, and this is real. This is real. I saw on the social media, and I don't think Gary Griffith is going to lie. And this is the neglect, right? This is the neglect. People today, I tell you something, there's a lot of people doing a lot of good things in this country. They don't want to be awarded by the humanitarian organization in this country. They don't want a big plaque, right? They don't want all that. They don't want to be recognized with any hummingbird medal, right? Or any bronze or silver medals or anything like that. They don't want that. All they want is to be appreciated. And that is something far-fetched in the minds of many of our leaders today. They don't know how to appreciate people. They will eat you, they will drink you, and they will spit you out. And that is what people migrate. That is what is causing mass migration, whether it be in the political field, whether it be in the economical field, whether it be in the social field, whether it be in your homes, whether it be with your loving wife and your loving husband or your family members. They mass migrate because of you. Because of you not seeing their worth and their value. And when you cannot see their worth and value, my friends, then you have to take what you are getting and smile. Take what you are getting and smile. You understand? My friends, again, those of you who are locked on, this program, Hard Facts, is your program. I really and truly don't want to go down too much on situation that is prevailing in our country, because when we look at the economical field, I want to just ask maybe one or two questions before I take a break. Number one, you are seeing on the daily newspaper that the Dragon gas deal is falling through. And that is simply because of the tariffs and the feared embargoes and all those things that may happen under the Trump administration. Because a lot of people is frightful. If you are not frightful, then something is wrong with you. You have to be real. You have to talk. When the truth is for you or the truth is against you, you must be able to speak out. That is what you call a patriot. That is what you call a patriot. When it is for you, you speak out. When it is against you, you speak out in the same breath. Right? And all these things are happening. Now, the Dragon deal, as you are seeing on the newspaper, it has fallen through. And yet still, one party, the PNM, you are saying that they lost the deal, and that is reason to worry. That is reason to worry. And then again, we are hearing from the United National Congress that don't worry about that. We could make it happen. We will try to make it happen. How can you make it happen? You would like to talk about the refinery, right? If the refinery was making money I don't think if the business was functioning properly and there was a profit that is being generated, I don't think anybody in their right mind will shut it down. I don't believe that if you have a business, right, and that business is bringing in X amount of profit, right, and you see it, you're going to shut down that to open something else that might not bring any profit. And here, you know, there's a saying, a bird in hand is better than two in the sky. And basically, when we look at the petroleution the issues, you would realize that they were not making money, because this is what the economists are saying. This is not what Dr. Keith Rowley is saying alone. No. This is what the economists, you might say that, hey, Imam changing boy. Imam like he already gone PNM. Some of you might say that Imam done gone PNM, but I tell you something. I am real. I am no cartoon. I'll tell you as it is. Right? I will tell you as it is. And I have a way I just deal with things, you know. I just deal with things differently. I know where I am wanted, and if I am wanted here, I stay here. And if I am not wanted here, I slowly migrate. You don't even know that I have migrated. Because I was in a political entity, I was in a political scenario, I was connected with people. And I tell you something, years in, years gone by, right? And you know something? They didn't shoot a phone call and say, hey, Imam, you all right? How can you, my friends, and this is what made Gary Griffith disenchanted. I saw when Gary Griffith made that video, and I look at I listened to the tone of voice. I listened to the tone of voice when he would have said that his wife, who was what? She was a senator. She represented Trinidad and Tobago at the highest level when it comes to culture, beauty. Right? She represented Trinidad and Tobago, and she won. And she was, you know, prescribed. She was, you know, tested and so forth, and she had cancer and so forth, right? And you know what he said? And this is what not one person from the United National Congress, especially the leadership, called to say, well, how are you feeling? How can I render assistance? Huh? And you know what he said? He said the Prime Minister, who is evil in the eyes of everyone, he was evil in the eyes of me at some time when I was blinded. And again, my friends, he is the most evil thing. But Gary Griffith is saying that he was the first to render a phone call and ask if he could do some assistance or whatever he could have done. And second would have been Stuart Young. My friends, what happened to the party that she served under? What happened to the people? What happened to those individuals? Have they lost the emotional factor when it comes to keeping or becoming their brother's keeper? Because somebody, you know, might have a different personal gains, or are you going to represent the people of Trinidad and Tobago? These are questions that you have to ask yourselves. You are making migration, nothing is wrong. I don't have a problem with you, but I tell you something, in Trinidad and Tobago, especially if you are living in one of those constituencies that votes tribalistically year in, year out, and they have never lost an election from 1962 to now, and they have retained those 18 or 19 seats, and you say you're moving away from that party, then you know what happened? You are going to be branded for life. That is what people are scared of. Otherwise, I tell you something, there have been more migration taking place from the United National Congress. Let's take a break, and those of you who would like to call and abuse and who would like to call and make their contribution, feel free. That don't bother me, that don't bother. I doubt if it bothering any right, intelligent, intellectual mind in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, because we know for a fact that whatever we are doing for people. We are people-oriented. So let's take a break, Director. When we come back, we're going to close our program with our last segment. Okay, my friends, welcome back to our program Hard Facts that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. Our co-host has been absent for today's program simply because I told you all only two things, and I do hope and pray, believe that Prem is watching. Only two things could keep Prem away from this show. Number one is if he won the lotto, and number two, if a family member is sick and he has to attend to them. That's it, or something urgent like that. Other than that, he will be sitting next to me on this program, Hard Facts, because he knows for a fact at this point in time, the heat is building up for the general election that is going to be held in Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you who are locked on, my friend Donald Samuj, Dudnat Hardial, those fellas are living in North America, people in South America, people in Guyana, people in Florida, and all these places. I want to say hats off to you all. May God Almighty bless you all, keep you all safe, keep you all united, and keep our country, Trinidad and Tobago, united at this point in time, because I tell you something, politics really and truly, it grows strange bedfellows. So all I'm saying in this program, that if you notice people jumping ship, if you want to call it that, they are jumping ship, don't blame them. There's a reason for it. But again, you can't jump ship overnight. You can't jump ship like what we see happening on many, many occasions. People would have a red jersey, they'd have a yellow jersey. And if the United National Congress win the election, they adorn the yellow. And if the PNM wins the election, they don the red. And they go for the goodies. And they go to enjoy the food and the drinks and the refreshment and the fete and the partying and all these things. Let me tell you something. The real patriots don't waste time with that. The real patriot, election come, election go, it doesn't make any change in their life. Because you know why? My friends, they're every day, they're 365, they're 366 days of the year, they are doing community service. They are doing service to humanity every day of their life. These are the people that we really and truly have to give humanitarian awards. Right? We have to give those people awards. Praise those people. That is the reason why, as a leader, there are certain traits, there are certain qualities that a leader should have. Number one, a leader should listen to three sides of a story, not only two. Three sides, because there's always a hidden one. There's always a hidden story. Let me tell you an example of what I'm speaking about. I had a situation where a sister was complaining of being abused in her home. And I told her, I say, sister, would you like me to speak to your husband? And you know what she said? She said, Imam, don't speak to him because he's gonna pressure me more. Now imagine that. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago. The sister came to me and told me that she's been abused in her home. And my responsibility is to straighten that out or talk to her. So I told her, let me go and talk to your husband, and maybe three of us could sit down and mediate what is taking place. She said no. She's fearful. She is fearful. Maybe he would pressure her more. And that is the fear factor. That is the fear factor that many people today, they are living under. They are living under that fear factor. You understand? So Trinidad and Tobago, I want to tell you all something here. Election fever is on. The bell has already rung. People are contemplating on which party to vote for, and so forth and so forth. But really and truly, when we look at Tobago, Tobago has an integral role to play when it comes to the politics of Trinidad and Tobago. I heard this, and I don't know how these information normally reach the airwaves. Huh? I've been always asking the question, right? When we go to meet a political leader, or maybe we go to a political consultation or anything of that nature, they would tell you all to leave the phone outside. Isn't that so? They would tell you all to leave your phone outside, put it in bag, and they'll give you a number, and then you retrieve your bag when the meeting finish. That's a normal trend. I remember hearing when a question was asked, did the opposition leader had any communication with anybody in Tobago when it comes to maneuvering or having some sort of pact or deal or broken any sort of deals with anybody in Tobago? And the answer was blatantly no. No, we are not doing that. We're not going to do that. And then again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, I heard this and I saw a video on social media where a long communication took place with both individuals in our country, and individuals in Tobago, and a lot of names were called. A lot of names were called, so much so that a minister name was also called in that, and figures, numbers were called in that also. And here it is, people are saying that we are not brokering any deal, we are not having any consultation with no one. I want to tell you all something. You see, all those political entities that has joined together to come to one, to make one party or one group, you call it a coalition of interests. I do hope that you all, that coalition of interests, the interest really means the interest for the people and not the interest of individual self. I do hope so. And another thing again, I am in politics long time. I am in politics a long time, and I tell you something, I was in the highest level of the United National Congress, that would have been the NATEX, and we had good things going on there, but again, I want to let you all know, nobody give nobody nothing for free. Listen carefully. Trinidad and Tobago, people who are politicking, people who are going outside there, nobody gives nobody nothing for free. If you see a man outside here, and he is on Facebook every day, and he is bashing PNM, or he's bashing UNC, let me tell you something, bottom line is, somebody is doing something for something. They are looking to get some gains out of it. They are looking to get mileage out of it. They are looking to get spoils of war out of it. They are looking for benefit out of it. They are not doing that for people. They are not doing, they say, okay, all right, the murder rate is high, the crime rate is high, the economies are deplorable at this point in time simply because of maybe the world scenario. It's not, you can't blame Trinidad alone, because you look at other places, basically the world scenario with tariffs and embargoes and all those things are happening. My friends, we are living in this country, Trinidad and Tobago. We want to ask the question, where is those individual leaders? Why it is that the individual leaders can't come together and maybe have a debate, the leaders, the political leader of the PNM and the political leader of the United National Congress. Those are the two major parties, right? Not Mobelang. We're not talking about Mobelang. We're talking about questions and answers. There are over 50 questions that I want to ask. And I'm sure that there are many people who would like to ask questions. Look at maybe the top 20 questions that would bring some sort of relief for the country when it comes to economy, when it comes to equity, when it comes to development, when it comes to US currency and all these things, when it comes to foreign exchange. Those are the type of questions that we have. When it comes to crime, when it comes to infrastructure, maybe have one question each. What is it that you all are going to do? What is it that you all are going to do? And you know, that could be able to adjudicate and be able to bring some sort of light or enlightenment so that people could really and truly go out there and vote with a clear conscience. That is what we're supposed to be doing. But again, you know, this one will pay that one, and that one will pay this one. And they're going across there and looking for dirty linen to bring it out in the open so that it will make people look bad. But I tell you all something. If you look at the real issue that, and I will close the program with this. Only when a tree bearing good fruits, people are going to pelt it. Take my word for it. Only when a tree is bearing good fruits, people are going to pelt it down. And you have to look at it, my friends. Those of you who are locked on, this program, Hard Facts, is your program. I see the director giving me some notice here that our time is coming to an end here. So again, friends, those of you who are locked on, we would like to discuss with you all. I would believe that the Patriotic Front would call me and tell me, well, Imam, we will not be coming to your program here today. I can't understand it. And as I close here, I really and truly, because of them not attending the program, I thought maybe they are coming a bit late, so I will start a little bit late waiting for them. And nobody showed up, and nobody called, and nobody said anything. And that myself, it really and truly, it speaks volume. And that happened on Saturday also, that I had to call the candidate and find out where you all are. And then they will say that they're doing something else. That is what causing, mayhem, and it causing dissatisfaction in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. So my friends, again, I just want to say hats off to all those persons who have been participating in our program, who have been, guiding, sending us messages, and also to our detractors and those persons who, call us names and all these things. We don't have a problem with you all, because I tell you something, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you all are welcome in our program, Hard Facts, that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. I thank you all very much. May God Almighty bless you and keep you all safe until Wednesday. Until Wednesday, my friends, please join us again as I close. To my nephew, Akash Maraj from Aruka, a special happy belated birthday to you. And those of you again who are celebrating your birthday today, let me just take this opportunity to welcome you all and also tell you happy birthday. Thank you all and a pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.